You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, we got a couple of quick things to talk about today. Annie Constable of Front Office Sports was on had an interview with Rachel Demita. Rachel's got a really good channel. I enjoy watching it. Look, she's probably like, oh no, this guy watches. Hey, it is what it is. I don't have to worry about whether I hurt anybody's feelings ever. I'm not trying to be a journalist, nor do I want to be. I don't have any respect for journalists. Not anymore. All right? Not anymore. But nonetheless, she got a great channel. And, I enjoy that channel a lot. So, and by the way, that wasn't a shot at her. At her guest, yeah. I'm not the biggest fan in the world, okay? But hey, no doubt, Annie keeps her, ear to the ground and she knows what's going on. It's just when you're that pro player, I have an issue with it because the owners are part of this equation, whether anybody likes it or not. And there was a conversation about Unrivaled being a conflict of interest, and Annie said, well, the WNBA encouraged them to play in other leagues at one time. Yeah, when they were making $75,000 or $100,000, it wasn't that big a deal. The conflict of interest is two things now. Number one, I don't care what anybody says, a women's professional basketball league, regardless of the time of the year, it is a conflict of interest because it's a competitor. Right, wrong, or indifferent, it's a competitor. So it would literally be like McDonald's and Burger King going into business. We got somebody working at both places. They're both in leadership. No, that doesn't work like that, and you're not allowed to do it. The other thing is when you have people that own a competitor's league being in prominent leadership positions involved with negotiating the CBA for another league, that's another massive conflict of interest because those people, Nafisia Collier and Breonna Stewart, they stand in theory to benefit if the WNBA can't have a season. So that's a problem. And the other one, now that they're going to start making more money, well, it's going to become an issue for the WNBA because they're going to be like, well, if we're paying $500,000 all the way up in theory to $2.4 million, and we don't know what this new proposal is going to be, and word has it, there is a new proposal coming from the league pretty soon. Now, what that's going to look like, or if it's just a rehashed version of the same one, I don't know. But now that you're talking about a lot more money, the teams are going to be like, yeah, we don't want you to play in other leagues because if you get hurt, okay, our asset can be damaged. By the way, Breonna Jones, torn meniscus, playing in another league. Supposedly will be good by the time the season starts, but perfect example. Perfect example. So Costaball posted this earlier. WNBPA president Nika Agumake and the staff of the Players Union were in Nashville last night where they had a players-only meeting with AU players, including executive committee members Brianna Turner and Alicia Clark. I'm told the union is still waiting on a response to the WNBA in their December proposal. Okay, now, this is what's going to get everybody's attention. During this interview, the following was said from Annie about the idea that the season could very well get delayed here. Free agency is going to be a big part of the reason.
I've been kind of ringing the alarm. Like it's kind of time to panic. There's a lot of stuff to do. And Also, there's an entire free agency to deal with. There's like 100 players that are free agents. Have you heard anything? Have you heard of teams starting to talk to players? I know that they technically can't make offers and such, but what have you heard on the free agency front?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of concern from a lot of league executives, sources. I'll say is that it's becoming clear that the season could be delayed. I reported this, I think, last month, that there was a belief among a number of league sources that thought if this doesn't get done by early February, the season will be delayed, because to your point, Stewie has said this, like, there's so much that has to get done. And so what's going to happen is free agency in the WNBA is unique. It's always been a sprint. Historically, it hasn't been this big moment in the same way it is in the NBA. There hasn't been a ton of movement. There's a lot of reasons for that. We don't have to get into that today. But when Candace signed with the Sky, that was one of the biggest free agency moves at the time in the history of the WNBA, and that was just 2021. And so what we've seen in the years since is that January month, between like mid-January to the first week of February, free agency is popping. It's like, so-and-so has agreed to terms here, da-da-da-da-da-da. And by mid-February is pretty much like,
Locked,
has settled. And
we
so
covered it last year, and it was like 2 weeks, but there was way less free agents than there are now.
Less free. Yeah. And so I think that there's the league is betting, or there's a sense that free agency has always gone super quick. But to your point, the difference here is there are so many more free agents. And so the people that are going to be most impacted, and Kalia Copper said this during like the first week of Unrivaled, is that we're not, like, our free agency experience is going to be impacted, because how are we going to go visit teams and talk to?
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. My response to that would be, well, you better sign the CBA then, shouldn't you? I mean, I don't know what else to say. You've got a really, what I think is a really fair deal on the table. If you're that concerned about free agency and how you're going to have to get through that, probably a good idea to put some pen to paper and get that deal done. Because at this point, the owners have a deal out there. So I'm going to tell you, if they do not realize, both the league and the players, but especially the players, if they don't realize it's a public relations nightmare for the season to get delayed, one game, honestly, to lose preseason games, if they don't get that's a horrible look, and that fans are already like checking out, especially after Caitlin Clark's injury last year, they don't need to do anything that is going to delay this season one solitary second of one game. That's a horrible idea for a league that is finally looking like it's turning the corner financially. And yeah, financially is really the biggest deal here. In a league that's never turned a profit, in order for owners to want to continue to run this league and have it in existence, they're going to have to make money. This is their moment. Oh, we finally see a light at the end of the tunnel with the media rights deal. We're going to start making money, provided the players allow us to make money. If we don't, that's it. Guys, make sure you go subscribe to Rachel Domena's channel. I believe it's the Courtside Club. Maybe the channel's named after her. I'm not sure. Nonetheless, it's good content. It is. I mean, she doesn't have my mouth, but, she's actually out there, tied in with the NBA and WNBA. Things I couldn't care less about being, I want to be able to be as fly at the mouth as humanly possible. That's just all there is to it. But hell of a good channel. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.